Hey guys, welcome back. I'm James, and today we're going to talk about 1D versus 2D barcode scanners. What are the big differences, and what are the price differences? Let's get into it. Okay, welcome back. Let's get into this. So 1D versus 2D. And if you would, go ahead and put a comment down below and let me know what type of scanner you're using. Are you using a 1D, a 2D? Are you looking to move from one to the other? Or are you just curious as what's out there before you go ahead and buy one? First, let's get into how it connects to the computer. There's USB, wireless, which is kind of like a wireless keyboard mouse, and then there's Bluetooth. As far as price goes though, with wireless, that's going to be about a $50 difference in the scanner cost. And when you get into Bluetooth, you're adding about $100. So keep that in mind when you're looking for different interface options. If you don't need to go wireless, because you also have to consider that it's got a battery and you got to keep it charged. So don't forget that. It's kind of cumbersome at times, especially if you're in a high volume environment. Most of the time you'll be fine with a USB scanner. You can get an extension if you've got a situation where you go to your local hardware store, something like that, where you've got lumber, things that are on a cart where you have to scan those items. Then you could get an extension for that to make it a little bit longer. Out of the box, those scanners are typically, they come with a 6-foot cable, so you're usually in pretty good shape there. And then pricing. Out of the box, at a 1D scanner, you're looking at anywhere from $20 to $40 for a 1D scanner, 6-foot cable, maybe a limited warranty, that type of thing. Usually from overseas, so the support may not be there, that type of deal. If you go with more of a local company, a big name like Zebra, POSX, they make a great scanner. We sell those scanners on our website. Those scanners, usually you're looking at around the $100 to $150 range for a USB scanner. And those come with, ours come with anywhere from a 3 to a 5-year warranty, so definitely supported here in the US, that type of thing. And then once you get into the 2D barcode scanner, you're looking anywhere from $150 to about $300, and then you would tack on any wireless if you wanted to get into that too. The 2D scanners are very nice. I like those scanners, and if you can afford to go a little bit more, maybe like $50, $70 more for a 2D scanner, I highly recommend that because it's future-proof. So if you get into a situation where you're starting out in retail and say your store does just regular barcodes for all the products, and then you want to get into QR codes for advertising, now you've got to go get a different scanner if you want to be able to scan those QR codes when they come in. The 1D scanner, it's just a normal barcode, so I'll get into the differences between the barcode types now. So 1D scanner is just a regular barcode where you're just retail, it's got the lines on it, nothing fancy, just a barcode. I think we're all familiar with what a barcode looks like. So just your standard barcode, that's 1D. There's different types in that range, but for the most part, it's just the lines. There's no extended information in there. And when you get into the 2D or the stacked or the composites, those are all advanced barcodes with lots of information. So you think of like a QR code, that's a 2D barcode. Back of the driver's license, that would be considered a 2D barcode. When you scan those, you can have so much more information stored in that barcode that when you scan it, it may take a second longer, but it's going to pull tons of information. I mean, I think it can go up to a few thousand characters within that one little barcode. So you think of a driver's license, you've got your license number, you've got your name, address, all that information is stored in that barcode on the back of your license. Shipping is another example. You look at the FedEx shipping barcodes, typically those are a 2D barcode. It kind of looks just like a bunch of crazy lines in there. That's exactly what that is. It's storing tons of information, whereas opposed to the 1D barcode for USPS, those are just the lines because it represents the tracking number. The good thing about the 2D barcodes is you can scan them from any angle, any direction, so upside down, sideways, that type of thing, and it's still going to read just fine. And it can also handle a damaged or slightly damaged barcode, so say it's worn from shipping, that type of thing. That's why they're using those barcodes, is because they're a little bit more robust. So those are the main differences between the 1D and the 2D barcodes and the scanners. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.